All right, hey everybody, welcome to We Talk Fights. This weekend we've got UFC Fight Night in Canada, Mike Malott versus Gilberto Burns. And we start the card off with Jamie Surek versus John Giannis. John Giannis has absolutely no grappling, no ground game at all. He is a decent striker, but the Surek kid has a lot of submissions, as well as a fist fight is nothing for this kid. 6 years ago, he had 3 fatal diseases, and he fought for his life. He had sepsis and autoimmune disease and all kinds of issues, and he literally almost died. He was in a coma, and a fight like this to him is nothing. Like I said, this kid literally fought for his life, and he lives to tell about it. So, and he's got a lot of good submissions on his record, so I think he subs Giannis. So we're going Jamie Surek. Second, we got Sexy Mexi John Castaneda versus Mark Vologden. I think this could be a good scrap, but I don't know. Haven't really seen this Vologden's kids grappling, and I think it'll be a close fight. I mean, maybe close 30-27 Castaneda, maybe 28-29, 29-28, but I think Sexy Mexi gets it done. Third, we got JJ Aldrich against Jamie Lynn Horth. Jamie Lynn did get a finish her last fight out. I think she's going to be a lot bigger and stronger than JJ, and I think the hometown girl gets it. Next, we got Melissa Croton against Daria Zeleninsky, I think. I don't know. The Russian girl. Again, I think this could be 29-28. I could even see it being split, but I think Melissa gets it done. Take another Canadian girl. Okay, the next fight is Gokum Sarkam versus Tanner Boser. This could be a banger, guys. This could be one of those ones where it's a split decision, or there's a lot of fights. I think the UFC judges are absolutely garbage, but I think there's a lot of fights where, well, not a lot, but there are a number of fights throughout the year where it's like it was so close. Maybe one guy squeaks one round out, the other opponent squeaks the next round out, and the third round is just a banger, and it could go either way. And it doesn't matter how good a judges you are; it's just what perspective they saw it from. And you got to remember, they're sitting all around the cage, and I don't think they should be doing that. I think it should be 5 ex-UFC fighters or referees that are very versed in the game, and they should be sitting outside with headphones on so they can't hear the crowd, they can't play the favoritism from the favorite fighter, and they have a better view looking down on the cage, because they got to look through the cage and those padded pillars, and so it also depends on what angle and what perspective they see that fight from. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take Saracom. Next, we've got Julien LeBlanc, another Canadian, against Robert Valentin. I don't even know how good LeBlanc is, but I know how bad Robert Valentin is. He has not won a fight in the UFC, and he's got beaten pretty bad in most of his fights. He's going into hostile territory, and I just don't see him getting his first win in Canada. Next, we got Dennis Bazukia against Marcio Barbosa. This Barbosa kid has finished like 90-something% of his fights. I think he only has 1 or 2 fights that he didn't finish. So he's a finisher. He's a power puncher. And my question with Dennis Bazukia is, he is a Serra Longo guy. He trained with Aljo and, the ex-135 champ who we took the belt from, and the little troll Marab. So why is he not back in Vegas where he was training with his boys? And why is he down in Miami, Florida doing his camp? What's going on with that? I always question that. It's not like he's not getting good looks with Aljo and Marab. So why did he leave? Okay, see you later, buddy. Why did he leave to go somewhere else to train? I always question that. What's the intent on that? With that being said, I'm going Marcio Barbosa. Next, we have Gage Young versus Thiago Moises. I've seen Gage fight. He's a good fighter. But Thiago, for the last year, I don't think he's fought in the year, and for the last year, he's been living down in Brazil and fighting for the fighting nerds. And we see the outcome that a lot of those fighters get. I'm going to take the underdog, and I'm going with Thiago Moises. Next, we got Jasmine Jasudavicius against Karine Silva. Now, don't quote me on this, but I know Jasmine just lost to Manon Fiore, and she was on a 5-fight win streak prior to that. I believe when she started that 5-fight win streak, her loss was against my friend, teammate, and coach at Red Hawk, Courtney Cast Iron Casey. I didn't look that up on Tapology. This is just from memory. If my memory serves me correct, that is the situation. Karine Silva has great subs. Jasmine's got great wrestling. If she can put her neck in the right place, she should be safe, and it should be a dominant performance by Jasmine. Next, we got Mondo Nalo versus Jai Herbert. If y'all remember, who dropped Ilia Topuria that hurt him the most in the UFC fight? Jai Herbert. I think this will be a very competitive fight. I could even see it being split decision, and split decision going to Mondo Nalo, the hometown boy. Now we got 2 fights left. We got the co-main and the main. I've always told you guys I will not give you a pick, my expert pick of who I think you should bet for with who I think is going, or who I want to win. I will give you the pick. My expert pick should always be who I think will win the fight. So on this co-main event with Kyler, you're not going to get a pick on who I think will win the fight. I think it's an absolute coin toss. I think both of these boys are absolute killers. I think Jourdain was more of a gatekeeper and never going to be a highly ranked fighter in the featherweight division. And I see just the opposite. We got Kyler at 14 in the world now at bantamweight. Jourdain has had 2 fights at bantamweight. He's saying he's taking his diet and his nutrition and all that serious, his hydration, and he wasn't before. He said he was eating pizza 2 days before the Silva fight or something like that. I want Kyler to win. Kyler trains with us. He cross-trains at the lab and with us, but I've seen Kyler in the gym 6 times in the last month. Kyler comes into my store. I have stuff signed by Kyler framed in my store. Kyler's a great kid. I want Kyler to win. That's not why that's why I'm not giving you a pick, because in my heart, I want Kyler to win. So I'm just going to stay away from this one. So on this card, you're getting 11 picks. So don't say, hey, if Kyler loses, don't say, hey, you told me. I'm telling you that I want Kyler to win. I'm just not picking this fight. But in my heart, I want Kyler to win. All right. Last fight, we got Gilberto Durinho Burns versus Mike Malott. I think a lot of the casuals think Mike Malott is going to walk through Gilbert Burns. Mike Malott's not going to walk through Gilbert Burns. If this fight makes it past 2.5 rounds, this could be trouble for Malott. Now you're in Gilbert's world. I think Gilbert can make it very competitive if he can get right into the grappling, throwing that big overhand with the knee tap and getting the takedown, single leg in, maybe tree topping or the leg trip on the single to the double, high crotch, dumping him. But let's be real, okay? Fighting is a young man's sport. I train with absolute killers at Red Hawk. And you can see the difference in the older guys, and fighting is a young man's sport, Luckily, I get to train with some of the pros. Curtis, he just got his BKFC contract. We did some rounds before he went back to Manchester. And it's just great to get work with these guys. But my point being is fighting is a young man's sport, and Gilbert's almost 40. I think he's 40 in a few months. So this is one where we love Gilbert in this house. We want Gilbert to win, but my expert opinion pick is going to be Mike Malott, maybe 2nd or 3rd round. But if it gets past that, watch out. So, UFC Fight Night, Burns Durinho tomorrow. If you're going to bet responsibly. Do me a favor, if you like my videos, if you like my picks, if you like watching my sparring rounds, I'm going to start posting more jiu-jitsu rounds too. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel. We just started it 3 months ago, and I've got over 1 subscriber every day. think I'm up to 90 right now with 36 videos. I try to drop at least 2 sparring videos every week. And if you guys want, you can message me if you want to see we don't bet a lot of money. Elise and I, we bet $5, $10 parlays. Last week, we split a week before last, we split a $20 parlay that hit for 261, paid 13 to 1. Last week, I did $5 parlays that hit for like 135. The week before that, it went in on one. I think it was 20 or 30, and we hit for like 360. So 360, 465, 60, 627, 20, about a little under $800 we've cashed in the last month, betting about $100. So if you want to see that, I will send you screenshots if you want to see it. So let me know. All right. Everybody have fun watching the fights. Again, bet wisely. Let's go.